3 superpowers died the exact same way in the last 500 years. 7 steps. Same order. Every time, and right now? America just finished to step 5. Spain, 1590. They had more gold than anyone on Earth. Everyone used their money. 80 years later, broke, finished, gone forever. Britain, 1914. Biggest empire ever built. Their money ran the world. 40 years later, empire dead, money worthless, became America's sidekick. Soviet Union, 1991. Nuclear weapons everywhere. Controlled half of Europe. Dead in 900 days. Not from war. The economy just exploded. 3 giants. 3 deaths. Same 7 steps. Here's what matters. America is on step 5 right now. This isn't coming. This isn't maybe. We're already inside it. And we're moving through it faster than any empire before. This is how superpowers actually die, why each one thought they were special, and why the numbers say we're next in line. And it's happening way faster than anyone wants to admit. How empires really die first. Let's talk about what death actually looks like for a superpower, not in books. In real life, empires don't die from wars. They die from running out of money. The empire spreads too far. Military bases everywhere. Wars on multiple fronts. Promises they can't keep. Bills they can't pay. At first, you can't see it dying. The money still works. The military still wins. The government still makes promises. But underneath, everything is breaking. Money goes to the wrong places. Factories shut down. Smart people leave. Then it speeds up. Allies start looking for backup plans. Enemies test you. Trading partners find new options. Your money isn't as wanted anymore. And suddenly, everything that made you powerful becomes a problem. Your money that everyone wanted? It floods back home. Your military everywhere? Can't afford it anymore. Your promises? Just words now. That's not theory. That happened to Spain, Britain, and the Soviet Union. It happened because they made the same choices we're making right now. They thought they'd be powerful forever. They put military everywhere. They destroyed their money. And they refused to see the truth until it was too late. Let's look at how it actually happened. 3 times, same way. Spain. The first one after 1492, Spain became the world's first real superpower. They conquered the Aztecs and Incas. They grabbed the richest gold and silver mines ever found. 1550, Spanish ships brought home 200 tons of silver every year. 1600, over 400 tons per year. Spain controlled the money supply of Europe. Everyone wanted Spanish silver. The Spanish real was the world's currency. Spain was unstoppable. But the death sequence had already started. King Philip II ruled from 1556 to 1598. He had more money than any king in history, and he spent it all. Step 1. Military everywhere. Spain fought wars everywhere at the same time. Against the Ottoman Empire. Against France and Italy. Against rebels in the Netherlands. Against England's navy. Wars in the Philippines. Wars in the Americas. By 1580, Spain had military operations on 4 continents. Half of Spain's money went to the military, and it still wasn't enough. Step 2. Destroying their money. The king couldn't pay for everything with taxes. So he did what every dying empire does. He ruined the money. They started mixing copper into silver coins. A coin that should be pure silver became 50% copper, then 75% copper. The coin said it was worth the same, but it wasn't. By 1600, Spanish silver coins barely had any silver in them. Stores stopped accepting them. Prices exploded. Step 3. The debt trap. Spain borrowed from everyone. Italian banks, German banks, anyone who would lend. 1557, just 20 years into Philip's rule, Spain went bankrupt. They couldn't pay their debts. They restructured. They kept borrowing. 1560, bankrupt again. 1575, bankrupt again. 1596, bankrupt again. 4 bankruptcies in 40 years. Every time they promised to fix it. Every time they went right back to borrowing and spending. Step 4. They stopped making things. Here's what people miss about Spain's death. They had all the gold and silver in the world. And that killed them. Because when you have unlimited money, you stop making things. Why grow food when you can buy it? Why build ships when you can buy them? Why work hard when you can just spend? Spanish nobles thought work was beneath them. Factories closed, farms failed. All the money went to buying stuff from other countries: French wine, Italian cloth, Dutch products. The gold and silver came from America and went straight back out to pay for imports. Spain made nothing. They bought everything. And when the silver mines started running empty, the whole thing collapsed. Step 5. Society falls apart. When the economy failed, everything got worse. Crime everywhere. Beggars filled Madrid's streets. Smart people left for France, England, the Netherlands. Countries that were building things, growing, creating. Spain was left with government workers, soldiers, and priests. Nobody making wealth. Everyone consuming it. By 1640, they lost Portugal. By 1650, they lost the Netherlands, their richest territory. By 1700, the Spanish Empire was empty. Still big on a map, economically dead. From world superpower to nobody in less than 100 years. Finished. Spain today is a nice European country. Beautiful. Pleasant. Completely irrelevant. The descendants of the conquistadors run hotels for tourists. That's what empire death looks like. Britain, 300 years later. Same script jumped to 1900. Britain ruled 25% of Earth's land. 400 million people under British control. The pound sterling was the world's currency. Every major deal used pounds. Every bank held British money. London ran global finance. And just like Spain 300 years before, they thought it would last forever. Wrong. The death sequence had already begun. Step 1. Military everywhere by 1900. Britain had military commitments on 6 continents: India, Africa, the Middle East, China, the Pacific, the Caribbean. The cost was crushing. When World War I started in 1914, Britain had a choice: stay out and watch Europe destroy itself, or jump in and go broke winning. They chose war. World War I cost Britain over $40 billion. That's $1 trillion in today's money. They borrowed from everyone, mostly from America. By 1918, Britain owed America billions. The lender had become the borrower. They'd won the war. Kept the empire. Thought they could rebuild. Wrong. Step 2. Destroying their money. The pound was supposed to be backed by gold, but the war had drained their gold reserves. They'd shipped gold to America to pay for weapons, food, supplies. By 1920, Britain's gold was half of what it was in 1914, but they tried to keep the pound's value up anyway. They went back on the gold standard in 1925 at the old price. The problem: the pound was overpriced. British products became too expensive. Factories closed. Unemployment exploded. The government kept interest rates high to protect the pound. This destroyed the economy. By 1931, they couldn't hold it anymore. Britain abandoned the gold standard. The pound lost 25% of its value overnight. The world's currency had just admitted defeat. Step 3. The debt trap. Britain never escaped World War I debt. Then World War II started. Another $120 billion in costs. More loans from America. By 1945, Britain owed America and Canada over $30 billion. More than Britain's entire economy. They'd won the war. The empire was finished. They couldn't defend it. Couldn't afford it. Couldn't keep it. Step 4. Empire gone. 1947. Britain gave up India, the crown jewel. 200 years of wealth from India. Gone. Over the next 20 years, they lost everything. Africa, Middle East, Southeast Asia, Caribbean. By 1970, the British Empire only existed in history books. Step 5. Currency collapse. The pound kept falling. 1940. 1 pound equals $4.03. 1950. $2.80. 1970. $2.40. 1980. $2.30. Today, $1.27. The world's currency became just another currency. Britain kept pretending. UN Security Council seat. Nuclear weapons. Special relationship with America, but everyone knew the truth. They were a former power, a museum of what used to be great. The empire was gone. It never came back. Soviet Union. The most recent death after World War II, the USSR became a superpower. Nuclear weapons. Massive military. Control over Eastern Europe, satellites in space. And they thought they were the future. Communism would beat capitalism. The Soviet model would win. For 45 years, they matched America militarily. More tanks, more missiles, more troops. But underneath, the economy was dying. Step 1. Military everywhere. The Soviet Union spent 15 to 20% of everything they made on the military. That's triple what America spent. They had to match America everywhere, but their economy was way smaller. They were in Afghanistan, propping up Cuba, supporting Syria, Vietnam, North Korea, Angola, Ethiopia. Everywhere America was, they had to be too. The cost was impossible. Step 2. Economy stops growing. The Soviet economy stopped growing in the 1970s. Oil money kept them going, but nothing else worked. Factories made junk, farms failed. Technology fell decades behind. By the 1980s, the Soviet Union was importing food. A country with some of Earth's best farmland couldn't feed itself. Why? Because central planning doesn't work. Because innovation dies under control. Because nobody produces when there's no reason to. Step 3. Currency collapse. The ruble was never real money. You couldn't exchange it internationally. Even Soviet citizens didn't trust it. They used dollars when they could get them. The government had to buy foreign stuff with gold and oil. Nobody wanted rubles. By 1985, oil prices dropped. Gold reserves ran low. Real money was running out. Step 4. Empire gone. 1989. Berlin Wall fell. Eastern Europe left. Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Romania, East Germany, gone in 1 year. The countries that gave the Soviet Union power vanished. The Soviet government couldn't stop it. They were broke. Step 5. Total collapse. December 26, 1991. The Soviet Union ceased to exist. 900 days from Berlin Wall to total death. No war, no invasion. Just economic explosion. The military couldn't be paid. The government couldn't function. The ruble became worthless. A superpower with 30,000 nuclear weapons collapsed from running out of money. The sequence played out again. Military everywhere, money destroyed, debt, empire lost. Collapse. And now IT's happening to America. The United States is following the exact same sequence. Step by step. Let me show you. Step 1. Military everywhere. The United States has over 750 military bases in 80 countries. Troops in 150 countries. We're committed to defending Europe through NATO. Defending Japan, South Korea, the Philippines. Fighting in the Middle East. Countering China. Countering Russia. Our military budget. $850 billion every year. More than the next 10 countries combined. And it's not enough. We're stretched thin. Equipment is old. Not enough people joining. Commitments we can't fulfill. If China invades Taiwan, if Russia pushes into NATO, if Iran closes the Persian Gulf, we can't respond to all of it at once. We're overextended. Just like Spain. Just like Britain. Just like the USSR. Check step 2. Destroying our money. In 1971, Nixon disconnected the dollar from gold. The dollar became pure paper. Since 2000, we've printed 400% more money. Since 2020, over $6 trillion printed. The dollar has lost 98% of its value since 1971. We're not mixing copper into silver. We're just printing unlimited paper. Different method, same result. We're destroying our money. Check. Step 3. The debt trap. The United States owes $36 trillion. That's 120% of everything we make in a year. Just the interest payments are approaching $1 trillion per year. We're spending more on interest than on the military. We run a deficit every single year. $1.8 trillion in 2024. During peacetime. In a good economy. We're borrowing money to pay interest on old borrowing. That's the definition of a debt trap. Spain went bankrupt 4 times. Britain borrowed until collapse. The USSR ran out of money. Same path. Check. Step 4. We stopped making things. America doesn't make things anymore. We design stuff. We do finance. We buy things. But we don't make them. Our manufacturing is gone. Shipped to China, Mexico, Vietnam. We import $800 billion more than we export every year. We depend on foreign countries for everything. Medicine, electronics, steel, even military parts. Just like Spain got dependent on imports while silver flowed out, we're dependent on imports while dollars flow out. When the money stops flowing, we're in trouble. Check step 5. Society falling apart. Trust in government at all-time lows. crime rising, homeless people everywhere. Drug overdoses killing 100,000 Americans every year. The smartest people are leaving or giving up. Birth rates collapsing. Politics completely broken. We can't agree on anything. Can't fix anything. Can't build anything. The signs of collapse are everywhere. Everyone pretends it's fine. It's not fine. Check. We're on step 5 of 7. The Soviet Union made it to step 5 before total collapse. So did Britain. Spain lasted longer. But the pattern was the same. We're not at the end yet, but we're deep in the sequence. Step 6 is when we lose reserve currency status. That's when allies start looking for other options. When trade moves to other money. When dollars flood back home because nobody needs to hold them anymore. We're seeing early signs. BRICS nations building alternatives. Banks buying gold. China and Russia trading in yuan and rubles. Saudi Arabia taking yuan for oil. The cracks are showing. Step 7 is collapse. Not slow decline. Sudden explosion. The Soviet Union went from superpower to gone in 900 days. Britain lost the empire in 20 years. Spain took longer. But the result was the same. When reserve currency fails, when debt becomes impossible, when you can't fund the military, it doesn't fade slowly. It collapses fast, brutally, and everyone who thought it couldn't happen here learns the same lesson every empire learns. It can, it does. Why we think we're different. 3 empires followed this pattern: Spain, Britain, USSR. Each one thought they were special. Each one thought they were different. Each one thought the rules didn't apply to them. Wrong every single time. We're telling ourselves the same lies right now. We're different. We have technology. We have the dollar. We're America. But the pattern doesn't care about special. The pattern is math. You cannot spend more than you make forever. You cannot keep an empire without making things. You cannot destroy your money without consequences. You cannot skip steps 6 and 7 once you've finished 1 through 5. The sequence is locked in. The only question is when, maybe 10 years. Maybe 5, maybe less. But the pattern says collapse is coming. And when it comes, it won't be slow. It'll be sudden. A money crisis that causes a debt crisis that causes a political crisis. Overnight, the superpower becomes a warning story. The reserve currency becomes just another currency. The empire becomes a memory. 3 times it happened before. The pattern says we're next. Since 2020, we've sped up every step. Printed more money. More debt. More military commitments. Closed more factories. Society more broken. We're not walking this path anymore. We're running down it, and the end is visible if you know the pattern. Maybe we'll find a way out. Maybe America can do what Spain, Britain, and the Soviet Union couldn't. Maybe we'll fix it, rebuild, restore. Maybe this time really is different, but the pattern says no. The math says no. And history, which has watched empires die the same way over and over, says we're about to learn the hard way. If this showed you where we actually are in the sequence, subscribe. Because when steps 6 and 7 hit, you'll want to understand what happened and why. The truth isn't hiding in the future. It's written in the past, and I'll show you where to look.